Emily Martinez had never considered herself lucky. At 28, she worked as a salvage cataloger for the Interstellar Debris Commission, a job that paid just enough to keep her studio apartment heated through the long Martian winters. Her life was routine, predictable, and safe exactly how she preferred it after losing her parents in a transport accident years ago. The auction house on Phobos Station was nearly deserted that Tuesday afternoon. Emily had come only because her supervisor needed someone to verify the authenticity of a few decommissioned mining vessels. She sat in the back row, datapad in hand, barely paying attention as lot after lot went for astronomical prices to wealthy collectors and corporate representatives. Then Lot 47 appeared on the projection screen, a Solarius-class galactic cruiser, vintage 2000 to 187. The auctioneer's voice droned through the specifications, but Emily's breath caught. These ships were legends, sleek, powerful, and impossibly expensive. This one looked battered, its hull scarred and patched, clearly having seen better days. Starting bid, 5,000 credits, the auctioneer announced. Emily blinked. That couldn't be right. A ship like that, even in poor condition, should start at $500,000. She glanced around the nearly empty room. No one else seemed interested. Perhaps they knew something she didn't. Her finger hovered over her bidding paddle. 5,000 credits was her entire savings, meant for a down payment on a better apartment. But when would she ever get another chance like this? 5,000, she heard herself say. The auctioneer looked surprised. 5,000 to the young lady in the back. Do I hear 6? 6,000. Going once, going twice. Sold to bidder to 147. Emily's hands trembled as she processed the payment. What had she just done? 3 days later, she stood in Hangar Bay 12, staring at her acquisition. Up close, the cruiser was even more magnificent than she'd imagined, despite the damage. The name Wanderer's Dream was barely visible beneath decades of space dust. The access code she'd received worked perfectly. The airlock hissed open, and Emily stepped inside. The interior was dark, emergency lighting casting eerie shadows down the corridors. She made her way to the bridge, her footsteps echoing in the empty vessel. That's when she found him. A man sat in the captain's chair, perfectly still, his eyes closed. He wore an outdated flight suit, and for a terrifying moment, Emily thought he was dead. Then his eyes snapped open, brilliant blue and very much alive. "You're late," he said calmly. "I expected the buyer 3 days ago." Emily stumbled backward, her hand reaching for the stunner at her belt. "Who are you? What are you doing on my ship?" The man stood slowly, raising his hands in a peaceful gesture. He was tall, with sharp Nordic features and hair so blonde it was almost white. "My name is Erling Voss, and technically, this is still my ship. Or was, until the banks decided otherwise. You're the previous owner." Emily's mind raced. "Why didn't you leave? And why was it sold for practically nothing?" Erling smiled sadly. "Because I made sure no one else would want it. I corrupted the manifest logs, filed false damage reports, even started rumors that the navigation system was fried beyond repair, all to keep the price low enough that someone like me could buy it back." He paused, studying her. "I just didn't expect that someone else would actually bid on it. But why? Why go through all this trouble for an old ship?" "Because of what's hidden in the cargo hold," Erling said quietly. "Come, I'll show you," despite every instinct screaming at her to call station security. Emily followed him through the ship's winding corridors. Erling moved with the confidence of someone who knew every bolt and panel. They descended 3 levels to the cargo bay. He pressed his palm against what looked like a solid wall panel. It shimmered and dissolved, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside, row upon row of crystalline containers glowed with soft bioluminescent light. "What is this?" Emily whispered. "Seeds," Erling explained. "Seeds from Earth, the real Earth, before the corporate wars, before the terraforming projects. These are the last remaining samples of thousands of species, plants, trees, flowers that don't exist anywhere in the galaxy anymore." Emily's eyes widened. "This is impossible. The botanical archives were destroyed in 2000 to 145. Most were. But my grandmother was one of the archivists. She smuggled these out before the bombing. They've been hidden on this ship for 3 generations, waiting for the right time." Erling's voice grew passionate. The outer colonies are dying, Emily. Their ecosystems are collapsing because they're built on corporate monocultures. These seeds could change everything. They could bring real biodiversity back. But the corporations would never allow it. It would destroy their monopoly on food production. Emily's mind reeled. She thought of the gray, lifeless landscapes of Mars, the artificial parks with their genetically identical trees. She thought of her childhood stories of Earth, of forests with hundreds of tree species, meadows filled with wildflowers. "Why are you telling me this?" she asked. "You don't know me." Erling met her gaze steadily. "Because you bought this ship for 5,000 credits. No one with money or connections would do that. You're either desperate or foolish, and either way, you're not working for the corporations." He took a deep breath. "I have contacts in the outer colonies, people who are ready to help distribute these seeds. But I can't do it alone anymore. I've been hiding for too long. I need a partner, someone the corporations don't know about. You want me to help you commit what they'd call bioterrorism," Emily said slowly. "I want you to help me save the galaxy's future." Erling corrected. Emily looked at the glowing containers, then back at Erling's earnest face. 24 hours ago, her biggest decision was what to order for dinner. Now she stood in a hidden vault with a stranger, holding the key to something that could reshape human civilization or get them both killed. She thought of her safe, predictable life. Then she thought of children who would never see a real oak tree, never smell lavender growing wild, never taste fruit that wasn't grown in a corporate laboratory. "Tell me about these contacts of yours," Emily finally said. Erling's face broke into a wide smile. "The first is on Titan Station. We can be there in 3 days if we leave now." As they powered up, the wanderers dreamed together. Emily realized her empty life had just become very, very full. And somehow, standing beside the stranger who had appeared in her captain's chair, she felt more certain of her path than she ever had cataloging debris on Mars. The engines hummed to life, and the galactic cruiser lifted off, carrying two unlikely partners and the seeds of a revolution toward the stars. Everything had changed indeed.